Welcome back, dear children. Now, in this module, we are going to learn about what? Future, perfect tense, and other rules. Right? I will have watched a movie by 6 p.m. tomorrow. Active voice. I will have watched. Now, passive voice. A movie will have been watched by me by 6 p.m. tomorrow. Next, no passive voice for present, past, future, perfect continuous tenses. Not continuous, perfect continuous tenses. Okay. So, no passive voice for present tense, past tense, future, perfect continuous tense. All perfect continuous tenses, no passive voice. Be clear in that. Right? So, present continuous tense, past continuous tense and future continuous tense, there is no what? Passive voice. Okay, children? Is it clear? No passive voice for present perfect continuous tense, past perfect continuous tense and future perfect continuous tense. Keep this in your mind. There is no passive voice. Now, we are going to have a quick glance at what are the rules that we have to follow. The active subject becomes passive and it is placed as a object. Active subject, okay, has to be placed as a object, right? Then it becomes passive. That is one. The object of the active verb now becomes the subject of the passive verb. In case of the problem sentences having auxiliary verb, then it is modified and copied down. So in the sentences without an auxiliary, a form of be verb is used to mark the sentence. Being in the progressive, been for the perfect tense, is, am and are for the present tense, was and were for the past tense. The third form of the verb, that is V3, past participle form, is in the sentence is used, right? Next, the fifth rule is in an order, a request or an instruction. Order, request or an instruction, the passive occurs in unseen part of the sentence. That is, I request you, I order you, I instruct you. This is the sentence. The main sentence given in the problem remains unchanged and is reported as an infinitive sentence. When you go through more example, you will understand that. Okay. Now, we are going to learn about auxiliary verbs. We'll see that, right? Right, children. See this example, right? I told her a story, right? I told her a story. She was told a story by me. I told her. Her is what? Girl. So, she. Told is past tense. So, was. Was told. Was and V3 form. That is past participle form. Okay. See. So, children, here subject, object 1 and object 2. Direct object and indirect object. One example is, she gave me a hug. Here, object 2 has to be considered as subject in passive voice. A hug was given to me by her. Okay. So, by her. Next, we'll see so many other examples. I told her a story. Her, okay, she was told a story by me. Since her is the object, right? Her is an indirect object. She, it becomes she. She was told a story by me. She gave a book to me. A book was given to me by her. She wrote a letter to him. A letter was written to him by her. So all these have two object. Object 1 and object 2, otherwise direct and indirect object. Right, children? So active was they laughed. They laughed at me. Right? They laughed at him. Whatever it is. Laughed at. Laughed at is the prepositional verb that remains unchanged in active and passive voices. They laughed at him. He was laughed at by them. So laughed at is the prepositional verb. It remains unchanged. They broke into the pet shop. The pet shop was broken into by them. So broken into is a prepositional verb. It will be the same. They laughed at him. He was laughed at by them. Right? Next, we will see some of the examples. You must read this book. This book must be read by you. Okay. So, next example is we should obey traffic rules. Traffic rules should be obeyed by us. So all these are examples and you can try out 10 active voices and 10 passive voices and convert into the vice versa. When do we use passive voice here? When we have to use passive voice? To talk about the receiver or object of the action rather than the doer. To talk about the action itself. To talk in a formal or official tone if required. To describe a condition in which the doer is unknown or unimportant. All these are the thing which you have to follow when to use passive voice. Now change of voice from passive to active. So all these time we changed from active to passive. Now we are going to change voices from passive to active. Right? So first is you have to note to change the voice from passive to active. All the rules you studied so far all have to be reversed. Okay. English is taught to us by Mr. Peter Daniel. This is passive voice. Now you have to change it. Mr. Peter Daniel teaches us English. Why teaches? Teaches. Since is taught is there, so you have to identify it as present tense. Right? Mr. Peter Daniel is third person singular. So you have to use verb plus es or es, that is teaches. Teach will be changed to teaches. Okay, singular, third person singular, present tense. You have to use verb plus es or es. Right, children? English is taught to us by Mr. Peter Daniel. Mr. Peter Daniel teaches us English. The meeting was presided over by the chairman. The chairman presided over the meeting. So observe all the example and try to convert active to passive voice and passive to active voice. We will play a game now. Shall we? Yes. Let's play an active passive voice basketball. Right? Click on the answer to know your score each time. Shall we play that? Yes. Now it is for you. On behalf of you, I am going to click. Sometimes it will be wrong and sometimes it will be correct. Active voice is the teacher told us a joke. What should be the passive voice? A joke dashed to us by the teacher, was told or is told, as been told. Check it out. Teacher told. Past tense. So let me select was told. So right answer. Now I'm going to click correct. You score 1 basket. Okay, on behalf of you, 1 basket. Next, if it is wrong answer, the basket will not, ball will not fall into the basketball. Right. First, a wave of strikes followed these events. These events dash by a wave of strike. Wave of strikes followed. So, has been followed or was followed or were followed. See here, events, plural form. Was is also past tense, were is also past tense. So, what we have to click is was or were. There is a confusion. Events is plural. So, let me click were followed. Okay. So, this is how I will try to follow that. Now I am clicking the right answer basket. Fantastic. Ball falls into the basket. Shall we move to the next? Right. It's not wrong answer. It is correct answer. Next is the manager offered him a new job. A new job dashed to him by the manager. Offered. So offered is offered, where offered, was offered. Since offered is past tense, where or was, these two will be there. A new job. A new job is singular or plural. Job is singular. So was offered. So fantastic. This is also a right answer. So 1 ball again. So let me give a wrong answer one time. Let us see what happens. If it is a wrong answer, then what will happen? We will see in the next. The army delivered food and blankets. Food and blankets were delivered, was delivered, has been delivered. Which will be the right answer, dear? Was or were? Actually, where delivered will be the correct answer, but I am going to click was delivered. Right? Wrong answer. So I missed a basket now. Oh God, game over. Right? So now you have to change. Right? Take your notebook. Change it now. Active voice is given. You have to change into passive voice. They called off the meeting. His grandmother looked after him. They will send him away to school. They called off the meeting. Children, write it down. His grandmother looked after him. They will send him away to school. You have to change these 3 into passive voice. Okay. Next is passive voice to active voice. Are you writing along with me? Yes. The meeting was called off by them. That is understood. Okay. He was looked after by his grandmother. You are going to check the answer here. Right? He will be sent away to school by them. So all these are answers. Right? So who got 3 out of 3? Let me check it out. Okay. I hope you understood this. Right? I hope you understood all these. So first we gave an introduction. Then we learned active voice. Then passive voice. Change of voices. Verbs with 2 objects, that is direct object and indirect objects. Then prepositional verbs will not change. Then auxiliary verbs and when to use passive voice. Children, I hope it will be clear. Thank you so much.